Okay, so this is what your number 1 looks like. I know mine is a little bit off, but if your instructions say to solve by graphing first and then to prove that your answer is right by using algebra, or that would be the substitution part. So we're going to solve this by graphing and by substitution. So first thing we need to do in order to graph it, okay, is we need to remember that y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form, where this number is the slope. And remember that's rise over run, okay? And then this number that's out there is the y-intercept, and that's where it crosses. So if I look at this equation, and I'm going to do this line in green, y equals x minus 3. This is the same thing as y equals 1x minus 3. And so that would tell me that m equals 1, so that's my slope. And b is negative 3, that's my y-intercept. So in order to graph that, I'm going to go to this graph. I'm going to go to negative 3. That's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to go up 1 over 1 because this is really 1 over 1. So when I do that, I'm going to keep doing it for the whole graph. Okay, and I get this line right here. Okay, graphing lines we should feel pretty good about. So I graph that one. Then I'm going to graph this one. And there's a couple things I'm going to do. Okay, or a couple things I could do. First thing I could do is I could find, if I remember, it's in standard form. So A, B, and C mean something. A for this one, A equals 1, B is negative 8, and C is 15, tells me a couple things. A tells me that it opens up, okay, because A is greater than 1. B doesn't tell me anything at the moment, but C tells me that its y-intercept is at 15. So that's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's like way up here, which isn't really helpful at the moment. So with that being said, I know I'm going to have to change forms, okay? So what I'm really going to look for is I'm going to try to factor it, because if I factor it, then I can find the x-intercepts. So I'm going to make my box, right? And I put my first term in my first box and my last one. And then I need to find numbers that multiply to 15 and adds to negative 8. And with 15, I get 1 and 15 and 3 and 5. Those are my only options. So if I go negative 3 and negative 5, that's going to give me negative 8. So I get negative 3x, negative 5x, okay? And I'm going to look and take out GCS for my rows. So this shares an x. This shares a negative 3 because it starts with a negative 3. Okay. These ones share an x, and this one also is going to be a negative 5. So this factors into x minus 3, x minus 5, which tells me that my x-intercepts, okay, are going to be, when I take each of those and set them equal to 0, and I get x equals 3 and x equals 5 by adding those over. Okay, with that being said, I would know I'd have a point at 3, 0 and at 5, 0. So if I have one at 3, 0, oh look, same spot. And at 5, 0, that's going to be right here. Okay, which I could continue doing. Okay, I know that because of this, my axis of symmetry will be here. Okay, I could find where the vertex is. With that being said, I know that my axis of symmetry is at 4, x equals 4. So if I plug 4 in, I would get my vertex. Okay. Anyways, if you do that, you're going to get the vertex of negative 1. And then this crosses here, and I just know that because I've graphed these about 800 times. But you know it's going to cross again. So the first part we know, the solution, it's going to cross at 3, 0. But then to find the other one, if we don't know how to graph this very well and we're not quite sure, I know that. But if not, go ahead and hop on Desmos and graph it and find the points. Okay, and I know that in the video for 3.6, it showed how to do that. So I'm not going to spend time showing you how to do that. If you have questions, feel free. But what happens is that point actually ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, and then 3. Okay, so those are the points you get by graphing. So that's the first part. You graph it and it shows that they have 2 answers. It crosses twice. Okay, but what we're going to do is the second part says, hey, prove it using algebra. So the way we do that is we're going to see how both of these equal y. That means that we're going to set them equal to each other. Okay, and so when I set them equal to each other, because I have this x squared and an x, I know I'm going to have to move everything to one side. So I'm going to minus an x. And I get negative 3 equals x squared minus 9x plus 15. And I'm going to add 3. Okay. So then I would get x squared minus 9x plus 18 equals 0. Okay. And just like we did over here to find our x-intercepts to solve, we're also going to do that. And we're going to factor it. Okay. And we're going to factor it by putting the first one in the first box, the last one in the last box, and I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 18 and adds to negative 9, because last term, middle term. And 18, there's a lot for 18. You get 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. I guess that's not really a lot, but those are our options. 1 and 18 is not going to give me negative 9. 2 and 9 is not going to give me negative 9, but if I again go negative 3 and negative 6, that would give me negative 9. So I go negative 3x, negative 6x, and then I'm taking my GCFs out. So I've got x's, and then since it's negative, negative 3, x's, and then since it's negative, negative 6. So this factors into x minus 3, x minus 6. Okay, and if I were to solve that, I would take each of these and set them equal to 0. Okay, I add 3, I get x equals 3 and x equals 6. So those are the x values. Then what I would need to do is take it and put it in either one of the original equations, so either one of these, and solve for the y's. So one of your equations is y equals x minus 3. Okay, so I'm going to find the y's that go with it. So if I plug 3 in, I get y equals 3 minus 3, which is y equals 0. And so from there, I get the point 3, 0. That's that answer. Okay. Then I do it again where I go y equals 6 minus 3. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing, what my brain is thinking. 6 minus 3, because I plugged this 6 in to this equation. Okay. And I get y equals 3. So that gives me the point between these two, not that. It gives me the point 63. So I know I graphed it and showed you that that was the answer. And then I did it with algebra and showed that those are the answers. Okay. You've got 5 more problems. They will take some time, but feel free to use a graphing calculator if you know how, or Desmos to find the graphing parts. Just make sure you sketch the graph and can show me that you know that these are the answers and it shows on the graph, and then use algebra to show me those answers. Okay? Good luck.